Hold on. Testing. Testing 1, 2. The camera's in the wrong spot. Alright. Let's see. Camera 2. Over that. Still works. Make sure all this stuff is on. Yeah, I want to talk about the book of Boba Fett. Hey, all. So I hope. Hey, Rubies, what's up, man? I hope everyone saw the book of Boba Fett trailer. Did everyone see? Hopefully, as a spoilers. If I don't know if you can you spoil the trailer? But yeah, I wanted to talk about the book with Boba Fett last night, but I wanted to make sure everyone got a chance to watch it. I got to watch it twice. I probably should have watched it more times. Once it was on my phone, because I normally put my phone away during the day. I picked it up at lunch and it had blown up with everybody that knew me. It was like, "Did you see the Boba Fett trailer?" So I wanted to talk about the Boba Fett trailer. And which masks? Those. Yeah, I changed the room. So I moved the Cantina masks over here. I was going to get on some Mandalorian, do a whole Mandalorian setup for the Book of Boba Fett thing, but I'll wait for when Zoe's home. Maybe we'll do a Mandalore episode, like when it comes out. Yeah, they're my Cantina masks. I bought from an auction of someone passed away in California, and somehow they got a hold of me, and there was a lot of cool helmets, but the masks kind of stood out to me. They were like one of those things I probably wouldn't have bought, but the price was good, and I always really liked the blue dude, and the furry guy I'd never really seen before. It is a little noisy. It'll shut off in a second. My water softener is right on the other side, and it has a timer on it, and it's usually supposed to shut off at 9, and so hopefully the noise will die out here in just a minute. If not, I might just have to go unplug it. But the fun times of having hard water in Lancaster County. So, but we'll be fine. Well, hopefully that noise will be, like I said, if it doesn't shut off here in like 5 minutes, I'm going to go unplug it while we're here. I just got to remember to plug it back in, or I'll have like limestone deposits on all my stuff. So yeah, well, you're probably your season's probably slowing down now, right? Yes, I got your message, Owen, and yes, we have filming of a movie this weekend, and hopefully my stuff will be off the printer, and then I'll start printing your stuff. So my Halloween wasn't really all that great because it rained. So here, I'll give you my quick Halloween story. I live in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, and most of Lancaster County does not celebrate Halloween on Saturday or Sunday. So if the date falls on Saturday or Sunday, they move it to Friday. This Friday, it was torrentially pouring and practically flooding, so I had to take down my haunted walk on Thursday night, and we didn't really get any trick-or-treaters and get to do anything. So we did drive out to my cousin's who lives in Chester County, where I grew up. They celebrate Halloween like normal people on the day it falls. So Safi and I went, and I didn't get to dress up because I can't sit in my Stormtrooper, so we just took a ride and hung out with some people. But it was cool to hang out with my cousin and stuff I hadn't seen in a long time. But yeah, it was I was not happy with Halloween this year, but I don't know. I got something flipping on my screen that says points needed for ranking. I don't even know what that means. So I don't know if that's something new in TikTok, or my phone is just going bizarre, or I don't know what's going on. So I want to talk about the Book of Boba Fett. So I watched the trailer. First thing I noticed was his armor is different than when it was at the end of Season 2 in The Mandalorian. So that was... I just tend to notice the armor. That's just me. But hang on, let me see. We got... Where's my clock? I got 4 minutes till this gurgly thing shuts off. And then hopefully that will do this. I don't know. Again, I don't know. What is this? I'm getting an ad. I'm getting an ad in my live. If I want to be... Did you say if I want to be taken seriously, get a face tattoo? I'm going to just get my face tattooed with the tattoo of me when I was younger. How's that? Would that count? I don't have any tattoos, so I'm not a big fan of needles. So all right, I got 3 minutes till this thing stops gurgling, but yeah, I have, well, for those just popping in, I was playing around, I have this actually hooked, I have this running on YouTube too, so I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know if it's, but we'll see. It has, I don't have a YouTube following. I'm mainly just testing it because when Zoe and I give away our next helmet, I wanted to have a way to broadcast it both to TikTok and YouTube. More people than I know use YouTube. They're still definitely afraid of TikTok. So that's the mess. Okay, so I am going to go shut this water softener thing off for a second so we can talk Book of Mandalorian. It is 2 minutes of? I have check my 2 minutes of, so in 2 minutes. Would you consider gold teeth? No, probably not. I mean, you know, that's a look for some people. I don't think it would really work out for me that well. I mean, it might. I don't know, you know, but I don't know if I have enough money for gold teeth. They'd have to give me like aluminum foil teeth or something like that. I don't think my dental plan would cover gold teeth. As far as I know, you know, I mean, I'd have to check. I think I probably am old enough that I probably have like toxic lead in my mouth too. So, what did you say? I'm not underestimating myself. I'm underestimating my my dental care, and you know, I'm looking at Terry's. Yours is fishing. I'm not sure how gold teeth fit into fishing. Is that good for fishing? Or face tattoos are good for fishing? Hey, Lego Red. I mean, I would think gold teeth would be bad for fishing because it might reflect and might scare the fish away. I mean, I don't know how to fish, but at least when I was a kid, when they would take us fishing, they made it sound like the fish could see every single thing on the shore. Oh, they track fish. Well, yeah, I guess you use lures and all that, so you just go swimming around and your gold teeth catch the fish. All right, so, all right, it is 1 minute. I'm going to go shut this noisy thing off, and then we're going to talk Book of Boba Fett. Well, I said turn it off, but it looks like it's still going to just make that noise. It's unplugged, so you're going to have to enjoy the sound of my water being softened. Okay? Alright, so let's talk about the Book of Boba Fett. My first reactions, first off, like, Boba Fett has been my favorite guy since I first saw him. I first saw Boba Fett on the package when you could mail order for him. I saw the holiday special, but I don't remember seeing Boba Fett because I think since it was a 2-hour special and I was a little kid, I think I fell asleep and I missed the cartoon. I never saw the cartoon until I was much older. So, you know, that's the one thing for me, at least for the Boba Fett. I did not see the cartoon at least until a couple years later. What's this? I look so. I don't even understand what that means. But when I saw the trailer, it had Fennec Shand in it, which I think is an awesome character. It had Boba Fett, so I was so happy with the armor. Again, they changed it. They changed some of the colors, and they changed a little bit of the details. So for someone like me, that means if you're going to make a Boba Fett armor, your season 2 Mandalorian Boba Fett armor is going to be way different than the Book of Mandalore armor. Now, we don't know when those scenes were shot, but I really like the way his armor. Fennec Shan, I think I got to rewatch season 2 of the Mandalorian, but it looked like they repainted Fennec Shan's helmet as well. Her helmet looked a little like it had a little more gray. I just remember it being more orange. So I don't know if they changed that. But I don't know if anyone else noticed that. He still had his good blaster, and I liked. So I was listening to a couple podcasts about it, and some people were talking about the name, the Book of Boba Fett, and where it comes from, and just from like when he was talking about Jabba and like he wanted to reign with respect. And so I was kind of thinking like the Book of Boba Fett. So when I first heard the name, the Book of Boba Fett, I don't know when that was. When they give us the trailer was on the end of the Mandalorian, if I remember correctly, when he came and shot Bib Fortuna. When I heard the Book of Boba Fett, I was kind of thinking that the Book of Boba Fett might be like a book or a list that Boba Fett keeps. Like I was thinking maybe he has like this book or list of people that he either wants to get revenge on or he wants to help or something. I don't know. It seemed that's what my first initial reaction was to the name Book of Boba Fett. But then I after watching the trailer, I was thinking, I wonder if the Book of Boba Fett is almost going to be like scripture. Like he'll have his sayings written down and people like follow what he says or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what other people think about the name, the Book of Boba Fett. So, if anyone has any thoughts on that, I'd be super interested in hearing what people say. I don't know what you guys' thoughts. If anyone maybe you guys didn't see the Book of Boba Fett trailer. Yeah, it is. It is. It's going to be really good. I'm trying to get a watch party, so we have some friends. They're like 4 or 5 hours away, but we're all off when it comes out. So they're like, oh, maybe if everyone's like vaccinated or masked up or whatever we got to do, and maybe have a big watch party somewhere. So yeah, oh yeah. It makes I can't think of any other way. I mean, I'd rather have a movie in the theaters, but this is probably second best. I do miss the Star Wars movie Decembers. The last couple of years we had fun with a few of them, and then I like the main release as well. So, and it looks like they're pulling out, like they have some awesome costumes. Now, when I saw all the Trandoshans sitting at the table, it reminded me of the Clone Wars when I think it was Darth Maul wound up like killing a whole bunch of the Dark Sun guys that were sitting at the table, if I remember correctly, or maybe it was in a comic book, something like that. So that kind of, I'm curious to see, I'm curious to see if he just kind of takes control, if he becomes. I don't want him to become like the Mandalorian, where it's like the good deed of the week. Like I want it to be a different story than the Mandalorian. I like the Mandalorian. I like what it does, but I don't want Boba Fett just to be another guy in Mandalorian armor, like doing little mini missions or something like that. I'd like to see him, Yes. And then someone had commented that they're somewhat shaped like the Mandalorian symbol on his chest. So I wonder if he's going to go back to Mandalore. I wonder if Bo-Katan is going to call him up, or need his help. I'm imagining. I don't know if he's going to atone. See, that's where when I thought about the Book of Boba Fett. At first, I thought maybe it was like a Book of Atonement, like he was kind of trying to atone for, like maybe since he got, like I'm sure we'll have flashbacks to the Sarlacc pit and all that kind of stuff. But I wonder if the Book of Boba Fett is like him making amends. That's when I first saw it. the trailer at the end of Mandalorian, not the trailer, the after credit scene. But then again, after thinking about it and listening to it, I'm still wondering if the book of Boba Fett's going to be almost like scripture from him. Because they had the Bomar monk at the beginning, which was really cool. And the other thing with the Bomar monks, back in the day, probably I want to say late 90s, you could buy those only on Star Wars Insider in Jawa Trader. They sold the Bomar monks. Like, I think it came out right before they re-released the movies, so it would have been late 90s. The Bomar monks were so cool. They were like one of the first cool backstories you heard about Jabba's palace, where there were these monks that, got their brains put in those little bubbles and walked around in those spider things. So I always liked that. And that location where where Jabba's palace is, we went and visited that location when we went out west. It's right in Death Valley. You can see the washout and everything, where they filmed where R2 and 3PO were going up to Jabba's palace, and then they just put the matte painting in the picture or whatever, however they did. So I thought that was pretty cool. I thought just seeing Tatooine, that one city that's in the crater. I'm not sure if that's Tatooine, but probably. I'm guessing it's going to be Tatooine. At least the first part of the season is probably just going to be him on Tatooine, cleaning up stuff. I hope we see more Tusken Raiders. I'm assuming that Tusken Raiders are going to be who followed him and found him and saved him out of the Sarlacc. I wonder if, since he got out of the Sarlacc, if he was like a religious figure to them, possibly. The Tuskens seem to have a whole bunch of rituals and stuff. Yeah, I wonder if they'll do flashbacks similar to Season 1 of The Mandalorian, where he would have flashbacks of being found by the Mandalorians. Yeah, I know. I turned it off. I unplugged it. I'm sorry. The water it must be pressurized water. It normally stops by now, but I just picked the wrong time to record, so you get to hear the nice background. Just pretend it's a starship and it's flying or something. I don't know. I am sorry for that sound. At least the mic on the phone is picking it up a lot less than the mic on my mixing board. The mixing board's going nuts, so whoever is listening to that, I feel really bad for them. But it is what it is. Usually, like I said, I used to have that thing set so it just ran in the middle of the night, and then 9 o'clock it was supposed to shut off today. I looked at the timer, so hopefully when daylight savings comes around, I'll reset the timer. I'm not going to set it today and then have to reset it. But yeah, Fennec Shand, I'm curious. Yeah, I escaped the pit like that. Yeah, I'm curious how he escaped that. I mean, my guess. I don't know anything about the new Mandalorian. Like I can't remember if I heard they were finished filming or they were just starting filming. But we have so many before that. Like, I think that's going to probably be one of the last ones in the cycle, because you have this, you have New Bad Batch, you have Kenobi, you have the Andor show, you have an Ahsoka show, you have, what was the one? Acolyte. So there's so many that I'm guessing the Mandalorian will probably be one of the last ones to come back around, because they know people will watch it. I'm just hoping that they put it to a schedule where we get one season of something and then we just go back to back to another season. Just have Star Wars every week. So I'm hoping that's the case. They seem to be turning them out pretty quick for as good a shows as they're doing. They're turning them out. I'm really happy with them. I mean, I hope this isn't a sign that we're not going to get Star Wars movies as much as we used to, but we'll see. But I haven't heard anything about The Mandalorian. or anything like that. I'll ask Zoe. She keeps up on that. She popped in on my last live because she was here, but she's back at school now. And she just wrote another article for StarWars.com. Yeah, that's what I thought too. That was the rumor when it first started, but I think it was just people thinking because it was on the after credit scene. So, as far as I know, it's going to be its own series separate from Mandalorian. So that's what I know for now, because I know when it first came out, it just surprised people, and then some people, to fill what they're talking, they just kind of make stuff up. So that sometimes is where we get all these rumors and stuff like that. But as far as I know, they're separate. But I did hear that same thing, that it was because they didn't. I think mainly because they didn't have a production schedule with Mandalorian, and it was mainly because I think COVID threw everything off. Like they weren't sure how they were going to make stuff. So I think they were just kind of, Have I talked to Chewie? I have talked to Chewie. Which Chewie are you talking about? The real Chewie or my friend Marty? I'll see him Saturday. We're filming a fan film for someone in New York. Cool, yeah. I always watched all the credits in The Mandalorian. Just some of them I fast forwarded when they're super long. Yeah, I have talked to Marty. We're, like I said, we're shooting a fan film, so hopefully the weather holds out for us, because there's people coming from as far as New York, Ohio, and we're going to be shooting with Chewie and C-3PO, a bunch of stormtroopers. I'm debating on I'm taking my sand trooper. I don't think I'm going to take 000, but I don't know. It just depends on the weather. Mainly because I have so many things I'm working on then that I don't know if I have the if I'll be able to watch 000 and keep her safe. So I might see if she wants to go as a TIE pilot if she's not working. I'll get out the TIE bomber's jacket and TIE bomber helmet and let her be a TIE bomber. Be a custom TIE pilot. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, honestly, if you haven't watched the behind-the-scenes stuff of The Mandalorian, that's so good too. I am not filming for real Star Wars, no. The only closest thing to real Star Wars I have is when Lucasfilm came to my house and did a story on my daughter on StarWarsGeekGirl.com. I mean, on StarWars.com. But this is a fan film. So there's a gentleman that he's made a bunch of fan films called the Han Solo Chronicles. And somehow he got my name to round up stormtroopers, and we're filming a fan film. We did a photo shoot at the same place years ago, and people thought we were filming real Star Wars. It was funny because people were stopping, and because we had all our stuff laid out, and we were just doing a photo shoot. So I hope that people are probably going to have their minds blown when they come see us Saturday. But no, I'm not filming a real Star Wars. But I have had Lucasfilm at my house, so that counts for something, I guess. I don't know. I wish I knew. I should know him. But the blue one is the same creature as Cad Bane, but it's from the Cantina. And then the furry guy, there was two of them, kind of like drunk talking in the bar. Because it's not. It's the same race as Cad Bane. But if I put the breathers on it, if I put the breathers on the mask and put a hat, it would be Cad Bane. Because I thought of putting a hat on him just to have him sitting there, because then he looks like Cad Bane. But it is the same character. Where is that? What? Where is that hog that I don't? Where is that hog that comes in? I don't understand what that means. I think you have a typo, maybe? I hope. I Because I don't think I have any hogs that come into my life. But that mask can't be worn unless I cut it up the back. It's like it's all airbrushed and ready to go. You just slice it up the back and put it on, but you can't see out of it. So if you're going to film with that, someone would actually have to have an air tube because there's no air holes in it, and they would have to have someone direct them. So we are filming at this place called White Cliffs of Kenoi. So there was, I don't know the history of it other than it's a giant limestone deposit that looks like the desert. So if you ever see any pictures of my girls, not the ones when they were in Jawas, but on TikTok I have pictures of Sabine and a Tuscan Raider in sand, and that was shot there. It's like right on the river, but because for years they just dumped all this limestone there, it made like a mini desert. Like it's probably like maybe an acre or less of this limestone deposit, and we just it's just a beautiful place to take pictures because the limestone has the pollutants in it, and it just looks really cool. And so it's normally a mile and a half walk to this place, but the gentleman that's filming, he got in touch with the township or whatever, and so we got the gate open. We can go unload our stuff, and I gotta check the temperature and see what the temperature's like. Hopefully it's not super cold. So yeah, so that's where we're filming. Yeah, so it's like on the Susquehanna River. Oh yeah, Safi had the brown mask on. She did have the brown mask on. Yeah. Well, we did drag it a mile and a half the first time we did it. When we did the photo shoots, we took stormtroopers, biker scouts, C-3PO. We even put an R2 on a cart and took it a mile and a half because we didn't have access to the gate. And so we had our little totes and we were rolling. It's a paved like rails to trails kind of thing. So it wasn't bad, but it wasn't bad going. But after we shot pictures for like 4 or 5 hours. And then we were climbing around in our armor. Going back, it felt like 100 miles. So yeah, that was the rough. I mean, I did some events where I had to. Well, thank you. I did an event with my tote where I had to go like 6 blocks in Philadelphia one time. So, and that was the last time I did it without a wheeled tote. I had a carry tote, so I was carrying my stormtrooper up on my shoulder. I was like, after that, I was like, I'm getting wheels. But yeah, R2, Marty actually got a cart built for R2 because a mile and a half just rumbling all the electronics isn't the best. What I gotta do is find a good file of all the armor, and we're going to try to do all the hard armor we can. We'll start with the helmet and work our way down. Well, we'll see if I can get a file with all the plates. Like we can make the plates, but if I can get a file with all the plates, like let me go grab my Boba Fett plate. So normally I would just say make plates out of 3mm plastic, but I bought some Boba Fett armor plate files, and these are not, now these aren't even clean. These are right off the printer, but this is actually pretty smooth, and it has. I mean, it wasn't a super expensive file, but I think it was well worth the Boba Fett plate. Yeah, just look around. Just tell me links. Don't buy anything. How do you see how the Jawa mask? Let me see if I have one that I can unhook. the eyes. Right there. And then this fur. So I made this out of, this is not above. And you got to be careful because a lot of people put these lights too far out, make the head too wide. So this is actually, it's a hockey mask with a piece of PVC cut and ground down so the eyes sit nice and flat so they don't look cross-eyed. And then they have sunglass lenses inside. Now this one, I got to fix the wiring on it. But normally a 9-volt battery sits right here on the back of their head. And then this black, so if you look up the Jawa, it's supposed to be black wrapped material, not fur. However, this stuff, if you look at all the pictures of my girls' Jawas, this stuff sucks in the light and blacks it out. So I didn't have to, a lot of guys will do the wrapped mask, and then when you take a picture, you can see their eyes. So then you have to Photoshop in. I've never had to Photoshop my kids' Jawa costumes. So, I was looking to see if I had any. I don't think I have any Jawa pictures down here. No. But yeah, I've never had to Photoshop any of their Jawas. And those masks, so they wore those masks for 6 years. I think they had a little smaller one when they first were little. I made out of like a Jason mask from Party City. Sorry, they didn't have rubies near me. Made out of a Jason mask, but they quickly grew out of that and it wasn't comfortable because those aren't really made to be worn for very long. So the hockey mask, it can be worn, it breathes, so I just put the cloth over it and I cut slits so you can't really see the slits, but it lets air in and stuff like that. So, and then they wear it when they put the hood on, they kind of tilt their head back, so they're just barely seeing over the hood and it looks like the eyes are right up where they're supposed to be. And the girls got pretty good at doing that. The girls were super good Jawas. I mean, they did it for pretty much, they almost did it weekly there for a couple years. Like back in 2010 through probably 2013, they did it at least once a month, but sometimes weekly. Back in the heyday of our doing costumes. And then when you get older, the kids get busier and have to go to work and get more complex costumes and stuff like that. But that was a cool time. I mean, the Jawa's a good costume. The Tuscan's another one. The most expensive? Probably my Darth Vader helmet. Maybe. I mean, I think they're like $800 or something like that. I mean, my Stormtrooper armor, but I mean, that costs more, but it's not, you know, it's old. But yeah, I don't think it's probably, I mean, these masks, I've been offered more money for those, but I don't, you know, it just depends on what people like. I mean, you know, when I finish my Millennium Falcon side, my Dejeric table will probably be worth more. I mean, it doesn't cost that much to make, but after making it, if someone wanted me to make them something, I would charge them a great deal of money just because of time and expense. But I just collect the things I like. Like, you know, I try not to, I mean, I can't afford to buy expensive stuff, but I just try to make the things I enjoy. And, you know, sometimes if you have a bad day at work, I just get to come down and stand and Star Wars stuff. It makes the day a little better, you know. Yeah, like, you know, I just, Halloween is over, so it gives me more free time. I really actually, Halloween was a dud, but it was I set it up and then I had to take it all down. So I did all that work and nothing happened. So that was the downside to Halloween this year. But I'll get it all straightened out, get it all taken care of. And then my job slows down in about the next week, so it helps me just to get a little, just to make it a little easier, and then I get to work on a little more things. Daylight savings, kind of actually gives me a little more daylight, so not in the evening, but in the morning, so I feel like more charged, at least. When you drive to work in the dark, it just sometimes it really sucks it out of you. Alright, later. And then, where I work, I don't have any windows, so I don't know what the weather is, what anything is until I come out of work. So that sometimes in the winter is tough. But yeah, this Fett armor, I still have, right now I'm printing this piece that goes here, and then the next 2 days, 3 days, there, my thing finally stopped, maybe? Come on. Almost stopped. As long as it doesn't explode since I unplugged it. I gotta print the back piece, which I think is 2 days each, so that's, by the end of the weekend. Then I just have to print the jetpack and the helmet. The helmet's 4 days, I believe. So this, there, I thought my noises. This one here, I print on this direction like this. So I printed them both the same. These are two separate prints, but I print them up this way, mainly because if you see the print lines, I wanted the print lines to match. So when I sand it and clean it, I have very little supports. This was I think this was a 10. This was a 10-hour because this was a 10-hour print because I did have supports here in the readout thing. And there's again very few. I think it ran a couple supports right here. And this one just had a few supports. I have my retraction doesn't. I could reset it so I don't get this like stuff here. But my printer's working so well, I hate to mess with the retractor and stuff like that. I just keep it. Now this one I printed flat, which I probably shouldn't have done. I might resin print this to I'm going to see how it sands. If it doesn't sand well, I'll probably resin print it so it's nice. And, since that's a focal point, so if it looks bad, that's everyone's eyes are drawn to that piece. And then I just got the color paint, so a lot of Lucasfilm uses the Montana brand paint, which is good and bad. Montana, hello, I can't read whatever that symbol is. Shadow Joshua, and is that, I don't know what the hello. We were talking about the Book of Mandalore, the Book of Boba Fett trailer, and how much I liked it. Hello. That's all right. No. Hey, I should learn more different languages. I should learn different languages. So you help me. That's fine too. But yeah, so someone asked. I didn't print these. I try not to use too many supports if I can. It's the art of setting them. Like when I print a helmet, I don't put any center supports. I build it around, because you build center supports and then you wind up throwing out most of your filament, and it takes longer. And the longer it's on the bed, the bigger chance of having a big mistake happen. So, but yeah, I got to print the back pieces. The jetpack, I split it up. Now my friend has a 500mm printer. I'm going to try to convince him to print me the backpack in one piece. But if he doesn't have it, I need to have my stuff done by December. So I got to get it all painted and then, all sanded and cleaned up. So this is really nice and smooth. So what I'm going to try is there's a clear coat that's a glaze for putting on wood. I might try that. I'll probably fiberglass the back. I'll probably do a coat, just one coat of fiberglass resin on the back. Yeah, nice. Yeah, the backpack again. I have it split up into 4 pieces and I can put it together. But if I can get Marty to print it on his 500mm, it'll fit one whole jetpack. I have the rocket printed. The rocket came out nice. I have to print his rifle, his new one, because it's different than it's different from the one, his old one. It has a different ribbing on the. So I'm printing the rifle, and the helmet and the pistol, and then I have to do the soft parts. So I don't know how I'm going to do the soft parts, to be honest with you, because I haven't seen a good tutorial on them. I'll probably be able to like buy the pants and shirt, probably find them, but then the belt I'm gonna have to make. The holster, I'm gonna try to find a pattern for the holster and run it through my Cricut, see if I can cut it. Yeah, that's what I have. I have a 300 by 300 by 400 CR10. So it'll print the stuff, but the 500 millimeter, the CR10S, I think, or 5 or whatever. That thing it'll print a whole R2 dome. It'll print, so. But I have my printer is 3 years old. I have nothing, and no extras, nothing. It's just, I just print it straight through, and I really don't have any problems with it. Most of the errors and problems I've had is me breaking something. Like I broke a tip off one time when I was putting in the heat source, and I just, go on Amazon and buy a new part, keep it alive. And then I have a Flash Forge small one I use for my detail parts. But this I had printing with the ab plate. Like I had the ab plate and this on the same print. I normally just do one thing at a time, but a lot of times I have to set my printer and go to work, so I try to make my prints at least 8 hours long, so it's not sitting there when I get home. My water finally shut off. My goodness, that's like 33 minutes late. But yeah, I mean, I like the CR10 printers. I have a liquid resin printer. I haven't had as good a luck with the liquid resin, to be totally honest with you. But I'm printing the keys to my Dejeric table. I printed my Dejeric table on my 500 millimeter, so that was pretty cool. And it pastes together. There's still some cracks in it that I'm not happy with, but I'll redo it once I get it all up and running, and then I'll have time to tweak it later and stuff. So, but yeah, so what do we have? 2 months till the Book of Mandalore, Book of Boba Fett. Fennec Shand, I like her character. I have one of her helmets printed, and then I made a mistake and had it stacked in my garage, and it has a dent in it. So I might try to pull the dent out with a heat gun. If not, I'll just print a new one. But I only 52 likes for the Book of Boba Fett. Maybe Boba Fett's not as big as I thought for that. I wonder if I would assume they're releasing it all the same time. I mean, I know when Disney Plus rolled out, it rolled out at different times for different countries. I'm curious how that came with the Book of Boba Fett. Like, I wonder if it's going to all go out like worldwide at the same time. Or I know some people had to wait. Hi, Aaron. I think so. I mean, I'm imagining they're going to have, like, I hope they don't overuse them. Like, I love season 2 of The Mandalorian, but I do feel like they had a lot of guests on that, which was good because I think they were like feeling out and see what they could do with this whole property. I think that if you watch the behind the scenes with the volume and stuff like that, I think the potential of them making some really good television shows with the heroes we like is awesome. So I hope they have some, but like the best part I liked about The Mandalorian was those subtle hints back to our old love of Star Wars, enough for the old people like me, but cool enough for the young people. So they didn't have Bosk, but they had Trandoshans. They didn't have IG-88, but they had IG-11. They had Zero right here. They had Zero, but they didn't have Forlom. So I'm hoping that now when they have Boba Fett, like, I hope to see Dengar and all those guys that were on the bridge with him on, Forlom and Zuckuss and stuff like that. And so I hope to see those in The Mandalorian, because, like, to me, or at least, I'm behind in the comic books, but I know that the Bounty Hunters, Book of the Bounty Hunters or something they just ran a crossover of that. And so I'm hoping that gives us a hint of what they're going to be doing, because it seems like, whether people like it or not, Lucasfilm has a plan for almost everything. Like as much as it doesn't seem like they're doing anything without thinking about something. So, like the Book of Boba Fett, I'm still with the name. Again, I'm still thinking in religious terms. Like Boba Fett has become like this like wise person, and the Book of Boba Fett is like his scripture. That's the way I'm thinking of it now. That's not how I was thinking of it before. I was thinking of it before where it was his atonement book, but now I'm thinking of it's more of like his religious, like he becomes almost like a religious figure. I don't want to say religious, like, you know, but his words, he almost becomes like Emphas, where it was this persona where, you know, that was feared. Now I'm just wondering if that's what he's going to become, him and Fennec. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it all. Again, this is how, but now I'm glad I didn't paint yet, because I have to decide, is it going to be the new one that's on the trailer, or if it's going to be, because I was planning on doing the season 2 Mandalorian version, the clean paint. As much as I like doing weathered stuff, I was like, I'm going to try to clean armor, because the Montana paints, now that I know that they use Montana paints, the colors will be right. So, though I hate buying Montana paint, it's like one can costs you like as much as like 3 cans of spray paint. But yeah, I'm just curious where. I mean, I just remember when I first saw the trailer for The Mandalorian. I wondered, they probably will do flashbacks. I would imagine they have to. And I'm thinking of what did they set up in The Mandalorian that would be a good storyline that they can't really touch in The Mandalorian because it wouldn't make any sense. And I'm thinking like they spent time with the Tusken Raiders, so I still wouldn't be surprised if there's a story of this Tuskens either saving him or seeing him come out of the Sarlacc, and the Tuskens are a little bit of like a superstitious kind of, I don't know, like, I don't want to say spiritual people, but they're kind of like, you know, they have this whole connection with their banthas, and they have this whole connection with the Krayt Dragon, and all this like mysticism. And I wouldn't be surprised if like he almost like fulfills some sort of prophecy where he climbs out of this Sarlacc, you know, and then they save him, and then he becomes almost like because he almost had like a shaman look to him in the Mandalorian. So, you know, I wonder if that, or if they kind of like nursed him back to health, like, because I would imagine he probably, like, that Mandalorian takes 3 or 4 years after Return of the Jedi, so I would imagine he was just pretty much still healing up in however Sand people heal themselves. So, you know, I'm just curious, like, if they see that, or, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we have those flashbacks like we did in The Mandalorian, because Jon Favreau and